why does stories matter and why is it going to matter for the brand of the future? So how do you turn your business into an actual brand? Well, my name is Bijal Patel, and I've had 13 years of corporate experience working at big Fortune 500 companies, and I'm taking all of that juicy firsthand experience and have brought it into my company Launch. Within this podcast, you're going to learn about branding, vision, identity, mindset, and how to scale your business to the next level. So let's go ahead and own your brand. So what's your story and how and when does it make sense to share it as a part of your brand so that you can get more connected with your audience? There's a lot of opinions on this, just like anything related to business. And some people get a little too obsessed with telling their story as a part of their personal brand. So I want to unpack this a little bit, but I want to first start with why does stories matter and why is it going to matter for the brand of the future? So with all of this stuff in 2023, with like ChatGPT, Jasper, AI, all of the stuff that's coming out where people can literally copy your exact messaging in your tone of voice, if they want to, by the way, with your IP, which is your intellectual protocol. They can literally put it into ChatGPT, and if you're published enough, they can just swipe it. So we are even more in a state of needing personalized stories because that's what is going to continue to differentiate you. It's going to continue to help you feel more connected with your audience and they feel like you understand them. So why are stories important? Well, for millennia upon millennia, like back in caveman days when people were around the fire, you told stories. People weren't writing books as much. Like there were some, there's the Bible, there's some manuscripts or things like that. But generationally, we're trained as human beings, psychologically and consciously, all of those things about stories. They stick in our minds and they stay with us and they make us feel closer to each other. They make us feel connected. They make us feel loved. They make us cry. They make the human experience less lonely. And I'll tell you this personally for me, one of the hardest things about being an entrepreneur is the lonely factor. When they say it's lonely on top, they're not lying. It is absolutely lonely. And that's why I'm a big, big fan of being in coaching programs and in mastermind events. Going to events like we're actually just about to have our second live event, which I'm so pumped about in summer. So in June, we're going to have our luxury brand intensive. That's going to be in Houston, Texas at my home. And the reason I did this back in March, which was our very first event, is I thought it was so important to not only teach people about how they could better use their brand, tune in their messaging and their tone of voice and all of the amazing things that we do for our clients. And I wanted to get people together, but I wanted to bring them together in a space where they can connect. And when I looked at everyone's survey and what they walked away from the event, one of the biggest things people said is they got to form 12 lifelong bonds and friendships with each other because everyone in the room's core behaviors aligned. And that is a part of our brand and why that it makes a difference of what you're saying within your brand. Hey guys, just taking a quick break here. I wanted to say I'm so grateful for you tuning in to today's episode. I hope you are loving it. And if you wouldn't mind, I would greatly, greatly appreciate if you could leave us a review, like, subscribe, share this with a friend or somebody that you work with, somebody who's on your team. If you think it'll help them, I would be so appreciative to you. All right, let's get back to it. So when we're talking about stories, people are connected through the experiences that we share. And so it makes a difference what you share. Like I just did with that story, it makes a difference to say, hey, that's what they did in March. Oh, it was really fun. These people left feeling more connected. And people always feel better about what they're doing in business when they're not alone. And I remember when I had first started, and this was back in like 2019, oh, some of those nights and like trying to learn everything and making the mistakes and then having to pick yourself back up, that is no way to go. So anyways, back to the point about personal branding and when and where you sell your story. I think a mistake a lot of people make, and this is going to be different. This is going to be totally different, but it actually works. So listen to me. I am not a fan of telling your same personal story over and over and over again ad nauseum. Listen, once is good. Okay. People might like it. I'm sure it's a tremendous story. But what ends up happening from this is when you tell your same story over and over and over in your like founder's journey of like, I was broke and homeless at 18 and then I started this new business and I thought I was going to make it, but I didn't end up making it because, this XYZ happened and oh no, blah, blah, blah. And then I went backward and then I had to like hire some more people and then I changed my business and now I'm doing this. And here's where I'm at. Voila, I'm a success. So when you're saying that over and over again, what ends up happening is that the first time around when they hear the story, great. Okay, good. We've heard this story. That was really cool. I felt inspired. I felt motivated. I felt connected. Like, wow, I can relate to that. It makes you feel good. But when your audience is continuing, when they hear it a second time, when they hear it a third time, when they hear it a fourth time, you're going to start to lose base of who your existing clientele is. And no one's talking about this. They think as if you're going to, if you're going to meet 5 people and you tell the story once, great. But imagine if you're adding another 5 people, but you have the original 5 who've already heard your story. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to get bored. And they're going to tune out. And attention is where the economy is right now. And so I'm telling you, you cannot say the same stories over and over and over again. You can say parts of it, you can say pieces of it, but you can't just start all the way from the beginning and give your same founder story. And that's where people make the mistake. They think that it's important to be able to tune in with their audience and they go back to their most profound story. Those are important, but they need to be like a founder's story that is a certain place and a certain time. So I wanted to hit that and let you know just in a real quick snippet, and we'll go into more stories later.